So I'm doing my makeup today to go out into Helsinki and perform in front of the shopping center out in the cold. It's going to be about maybe 2:30. Okay. It's strange because now I'm working on changing my brain from Fahrenheit to Celsius. So uh, my phone keeps telling me that it's going to be about -1 or 0, between -1 and +1 today. So that means that it's probably going to be between 30 and 34 degrees out. And that's right in the area where if it's 30 degrees out, I'll be a little bit cold. But if it's working up to about anything over 32, somehow it's a little bit nicer. It lasts a little bit longer. You don't get so cold so fast. But yeah. So basically, around Christmas time, when I was still in New York, my friend DJ, also known as the Junior Silver Cowboy, he was recommending that I start vlogging. And at that time, I really didn't really know what vlogging was, or what do you do when you vlog? Like, I don't know, how do you make sense of that? So I guess he kept telling me vlogging is about talking about. Of course, people want to see you when you perform, but people also want to see you when you're living your regular life. So I guess right now is halfway between both, because this is kind of regular life, but I'm also doing my makeup right now, so it's a bit part of the performance. It's kind of like the behind the scenes of creating the Silver Cowboy, putting it together and sort of piecing together all of the components that go into it. So might as well share a bit of what's going on here and my strategy and my process from living in Finland and adapting here and how that's all going to work out. So basically, today's going to be my third day performing. Three days in a row. I started on Thursday and then I performed Friday, and now I'm going to perform on Saturday. And I got really lucky on Thursday because I performed in two spots that I really wasn't allowed to perform in. And I think what happened there was they just didn't expect me to show up. And so I was able to perform for about 45 minutes to an hour inside the actual Central Railway Station. And then I was down in an area that was technically the subway station underneath the Central Railway Station. So in both of those spots, there's a lot of people walking through, and I got a pretty good response. I made a couple of euros. Nothing worth really bragging about, but just it's not about the money at this point. At this point, the biggest thing is getting out there, performing, making an impression upon people, also making an impression upon the guards. So on day 2, I went out there and I went to the same exact spots I had gone in, and it turns out that the guards were on me immediately. I didn't get any wiggle room to perform in those same spots that I was in before. So I ended up performing outside for a little bit, but after about an hour out there in the cold, I was freezing. So truth is, I do plan on going outside today, but yesterday, after day 2, the guards were always stopping me and speaking in Finnish. And since I don't really understand any Finnish right now, especially spoken, I was kind of like showing them, I don't really know what's going on. Like, you keep talking to me, but I don't know what to say. And so they still just kind of like motion to where I should go, that you can't be here, you have to go over in that spot over there where there's a little area that's technically you're allowed to perform in. But I still wasn't quite getting it. I wanted to know the rules in depth. So I went up to the guards and asked them if they spoke English, and they said, they were like, oh yeah, you don't speak Finnish. That makes sense. I don't know what they assumed at first, but I informed them that I was American and that I'm a street performer, and I just want to know where I can perform. I don't want to hassle them. And they said you have to perform in that one area underneath. It's kind of between the central railway station and the metro station underneath the central railway station. There's like a little bit of a shopping center under there. It's not that nice, but it's it's a couple of shops that are people probably go in them, but they're not, they're kind of like little, for lack of a better word, like family-owned shops, I'd say. And the thing is, there's a lot of other street performers who want to go over there because that's one of the only spots in the city where you can perform indoors and it's permitted. And so the thing is that there, it's private property owned by the organization called City Center. And across the way where I was performing, where the guards had stopped me, is an area that they said is technically the railway station. So in that spot, it would be public property, and it's not legal to perform or beg, or I guess in this case we're talking about solicitation. So performing and begging all fall under the umbrella of solicitation, which is trying to either sell something or convince people to give you money for some service or some product that you're not licensed to sell or provide in that spot. So it's I understand completely, but I told the one guard that one of my strategies in New York, maybe I shouldn't have told him my strategy, but nonetheless, I think knowing the strategy doesn't prevent it from working. The strategy is that I'm going to be around until these guards get sick of telling me to leave. And eventually, they're going to get used to it. So I told him, it starts like maybe a little drip in your nose. And then you get a little scratch in your throat. And you start coughing. And then, before you know it, you're absolutely sick and you have to go to the hospital. Now, I don't know why I said that to him. I don't know why that popped into my head. But when I was thinking about it, as I went along, that basically I'm trying to tell him I'm going to grow on you. And eventually you're going to know me very well. And I'm going to win you over. You're going to become a fan. And that's what happened in New York. That's what happened in Times Square. The guards, the security and public safety in Times Square. It didn't start off with too great of a relationship, but by the end of it, I don't want to call it the end of it, but by later on, after about 6 months to a year, working in the same area as these people, we began to share an understanding, and the understanding is that I'm here, I work here. This is my place of business. This is where my art is going up, and either you're going to spend your entire day wasting your time trying to shut something down that can't be shut down, or you're going to become a part of the movement and you're going to begin to support it. And I want to create that dilemma in the worker, in the security guard there. I want to create the dilemma in there where he questions in himself, am I enforcing a law that doesn't make sense? That is stupid, basically. Like, there's no reason why I shouldn't be able to perform in those spots. I understand that it sets precedents, that others can, other people who maybe would be a little bit, more less wanted around might come in there and try to beg in there. So if I'm able to have a form of solicitation that is permitted because I'm performing, then the beggars, the whoever it may be, the drunks, whoever are down there hassling people, that they might say, well, what's the difference here with this and that? So I understand the dilemma, but also laws being enforced based upon generalities instead of individual basis. I don't think that's right. I don't think that the part of the public that is good, that does not infringe upon the rights of safety and security to the general public, I don't think they should be punished for the potential negative effects of a few who abuse the system. So where does the law actually exist? I think the law exists not on paper, but in the hands and in the minds of those chosen to enforce the law, the guards who walk around in their gray jumpsuits. So we'll see. We'll see if there is a decay over time of the way the law is enforced. I suspect that in order to bring about the erosion of an unjust law, or a law that you disagree with, you have to be the force that comes in and erodes that. And without a force of erosion, status quo will be maintained. So art is not only about entertaining the masses, it's about educating the enforcers. And your rights are only really maintained, your rights are only really claimed when you go out and you express them, and you force the world to accept you as you deem your liberties are. So just blindly following the law is not good. It leads to people who are incapable of making their own choices about life. And my whole mission as a street performer is to convince people that they have a choice to see things, and they have a choice to express their curiosity. And even the guards, because the guards are at the same time a public official and a civilian, and they are the potential antagonist to my show, but also they are a potential supporting role to my show. We both keep security, we both maintain order, and it's just that their order is agreed on by some judicial body, some institution, the city of Helsinki, and my sense of order is just chosen by me as an individual, as a participant in society. But if the people rule, and the participants that can influence the law hopefully have some sort of say. So we'll see how it goes today, but I think I'm going to end up freezing a lot outside because just as they say, Rome was not built in a day. And so if street cred is earned, then it's not earned in a day. It's established over a long period of time, building a foundation that says, I am like a sickness, that there is no cure. You learn to live with it. And so with that said, I'm nearly silver, and I'm going to go out to perform today. So stay tuned and follow the Silver Cowboy on Facebook.com/the Silver Cowboy. Check us out on Instagram, the Silver Cowboy, at the Silver Cowboy. on Twitter as well, and YouTube. Check out our channel. It's SilverLife. We'll be putting up some videos there soon, and as always, we'll have the camera rolling. We'll have some pictures being taken, and the biggest thing is that you have to follow your dreams because art stands still without you. Have a nice day.